Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Comey, for your presence here today. And as one of my colleagues mentioned, your candor and the open dialogue and communication is much appreciated, and is not always the case with high-level government witnesses and others. You testified today that you don't question Apple's motives in connection with the San Bernardino case. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you also testified that there are no demons in this conversation, true?
Correct. I hope not.
But the Department of Justice has questioned the company's motives in defending the privacy of the American people. Isn't that right?
I don't know they've questioned their motives in the sense that attributed sort of that they're acting with evil intent or something. I think I remember a filing the department said where they think a lot of Apple's position has to do with its market power, which I frankly think is not an illegitimate motive.
In fact, in the motion to compel that you referred to, I believe the prosecutor said that Apple's current refusal to comply with the court's order, despite the technical feasibility of doing so, appears to be based on its concern for its business model and public brand marketing strategy. Is that the statement that you're referring to, sir?
Yeah, and I think that's fair. I bet that's accurate. Apple has a legal obligation, because I used to be the general counsel of a public company, to maximize shareholder value. They're a business, and so I would hope that's part of their motivation, and it's not a bad thing if it's entirely their motivation. Their job is not to worry about public safety. That's our job, all of us in this room who work for the government.
William Bratton is the police commissioner of the New York City Police Department, is that right?
Yes.
That's the largest department in the country?
Yes.
And he's one of the most respected law enforcement professionals in the country. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that very, very much.
Now, at a February 18th press conference in New York City, publicly accused Apple of corporate irresponsibility. Are you familiar with that remark, sir?
I'm not.
Okay. Do you agree with that strident statement? That Apple is engaging in corporate irresponsibility by vindicating its rights?
I don't know that Bill said that, but I'm not going to characterize it that way. I don't think they're acting irresponsibly. I think they're acting as a corporation in their self-interest, which is the engine of innovation and enterprise in this country.
Fundamentally, as it relates to the position of those of us who are on the Judiciary Committee, as well as members in the House and in the Senate, guardians of the Constitution, this is not about marketing or corporate irresponsibility, correct? This debate.
I hope not. I mean, I hope part of it is, and that's a voice to listen to, but they sell phones. They don't sell civil liberties. They don't sell public safety. That's our business to worry about.
Right, but in terms of our perspective, this is really about fundamental issues of importance as it relates to who we are as a country, the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution, the reasonableness of government intrusion, the rule of law, the legitimate centuries-old concern as it relates to government overreach and the damage that that can do. This is fundamentally a big picture debate about some things that are very important to who we are as a country, correct?
I agree completely.
Okay, now, in terms of the technology that's available today, Americans seem to have the opportunity to choose between privacy or unfettered access to data which can reveal the far reaches of their life to a third party, to a government, to a bad actor. Would you agree that there's an opportunity that the technology is providing for Americans to choose privacy?
I don't agree with that framing, because it sounds like you're framing it as we either have privacy or we have unfettered access by bad actors. I don't accept that premise.
Okay, so let me ask a few questions. One of the obstacles to unfettered access is the passcode, correct? The passcode.
Yeah.
Board number or 6-number passcode.
I naturally quibble because I'm a lawyer, but I'm just stuck on unfettered.
Okay.
Right? One of the obstacles to access to a device.
Let me drop unfettered.
Okay.
The passcode is an obstacle, correct?
Correct.
Now, you can choose a passcode or choose not to activate a passcode, correct?
I think that's right.
Okay. Now, whether you back up your system or not is an issue as it relates to access, correct? In other words, if you don't back up your system, you don't have access, correct? To the cloud.
Yeah, I think if you don't back up your system to the cloud, there's nothing in the cloud that could be obtained by a warrant.
Right. Now, with respect to auto erase, that is a choice that's being made. In other words, you have to actually affirmatively choose auto erase. If you didn't choose it, in this particular case or in any other case, eventually your computer is powerful enough to get access to the data, correct?
I think that's right for the 5C. I think that's, and folks from Apple could tell you better. I think for the later models, it's not a choice, but I think it's a choice. I'm reasonably confident it's a choice for the 5C.
My time has expired, but I think it's important as we frame this debate to understand that it is actually the American citizen that is choosing on at least 3 different occasions in 3 different ways the value of privacy, and that's something that we should respect as Congress attempts to craft a solution.
Okay.